In this prophecy from Daniel, it is yet another dive into the ritual sacrifice component of ancient Israel. Sacrifice is styled as a sort of ritualized self-offering in the Jewish context, right? In other worlds, it was actually a violent offering to a bloodthirsty god sometimes, or it was ritualized. It might have been ritualized self-offering, but I'm going to offer somebody else's self, right? And the problem arises when the ritualized self-offering just becomes ritual. There's no self-offering. In fact, we heard about it also in morning prayer this morning. The famous line, "Rend your hearts and not your garments." Well, the problem is that the people who received that prophecy were all about the exterior signs, but none of the interior realities. And so, this major shift happens in Christianity where the ritual changes dramatically, but the demand for the interior sacrifice also increases. You come forward, you bring your goat to the altar for a guilt offering or sin offering, and you're not really sorry. It was your goat, so if you want to waste it, go ahead. You come forward for the Eucharist and it's just the body and blood of Jesus Christ. You should really have your heart in the right place before you start to consume it. The prophet Daniel is lamenting that, at least that the people are saying, we have no priest, prophet, and king, no place to offer first fruits. And if in the ancient Jewish context, if there's no temple, you got lots of problems. You can't do most of Judaism without a temple. And in fact, that's why modern Judaism is very, very, very different than what's written about in the scriptures and what Jesus would have experienced. Because there's no temple anymore. So it's really hard to offer the major sacrifices. It's very hard to offer the major ancient feasts if you've got no place to go offer them. But in Christianity, we worship in spirit and in truth. And part of what that means, what we heard about in the gospel this weekend, is that you don't need a special place. That's why we have many churches and not one temple. You don't need a special place. But you can close your eyes and go into the deep part of your heart where God dwells all the time, at any time. So any space can become a space of prayer if you make it that way. And then, spirit and truth. And the ritualized self-offering becomes a real self-offering, not just an empty ritual.